My radiation badge read exposure critical, but the site manager said equipment gets oversensitive. The dosimeter clipped to my chest pocket started beeping. 11:34 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, halfway through my shift in reactor building 3 at the Clearwater Nuclear Station. The digital display flashed red numbers, made my stomach drop. 487 millisieverts accumulated dose, well above the quarterly limit of 125 millisieverts that federal regulations allowed. The device was designed to alarm at dangerous exposure levels. The urgent triple beep pattern meant I was supposed to evacuate immediately, report to the Radiation Safety Office for decontamination and medical evaluation. I'd been trained extensively on this exact protocol during my 6 weeks of safety orientation, but when I showed the badge to Dennis Carver, the site operations manager overseeing our maintenance crew that day, he barely glanced at it, waved his hand dismissively. Those electronic dosimeters are temperamental as hell. Probably got too close to the calibration source. Reset it and get back to work. I stood there holding the beeping badge, watching the numbers climb to 492 millisieverts, then 498, feeling my training and instincts war against the direct order from a supervisor with 18 years of experience. I'd started at Clearwater Nuclear Station 2 months earlier, fresh out of technical training for nuclear power plant technicians, 23 years old. This was my first real career job. After spending my early 20s bouncing between retail positions and community college classes, the job paid $68,000 annually, full benefits, the promise of steady advancement. If I proved myself reliable, my girlfriend Natalie and I had just signed a lease on a decent apartment for the first time, instead of living in her parents' basement. The student loans from my technical program weren't going to pay themselves. I needed this job to work. Clearwater was one of 6 nuclear power stations operated by Continental Energy. The facility consisted of 2 pressurized water reactors, provided electricity to approximately 1.8 million homes. Reactor Unit 2 had been shut down for its scheduled 18-month refueling and maintenance outage. The outage was projected to last 43 days, cost the company roughly $42 million in lost generation revenue, which meant every hour of delay increased financial pressure exponentially. My crew was assigned to replace isolation valves in the residual heat removal system, requiring access to areas near the reactor containment where radiation levels were elevated. That morning, radiation protection technicians surveyed the area and confirmed dose rates were within acceptable limits. Everyone wore electronic dosimeters for real-time dose monitoring. My badge beeping meant something had gone seriously wrong. Dennis looked up from his clipboard when I didn't move. "Did you reset it yet?" he asked, a hint of impatience. "You need me to show you how?" I hesitated. The training had been explicit about not resetting alarming dosimeters without reporting to radiation safety first. But Dennis was staring at me with that expression I'd seen him use on other workers, one that said I was wasting his time and looking incompetent. The training said to report to rad safety first. I tried to keep my voice neutral. "They're supposed to check for contamination, verify the reading before we reset." Dennis's jaw tightened. "I'm aware of what the training says. I wrote half those procedures." His voice had an edge now. "In the real world, equipment malfunctions all the time. We can't shut down work every time. A sensor gives us a false positive. I'm telling you as the responsible site manager, this is an equipment issue, not an actual exposure concern. Your film badge isn't showing any discoloration. You haven't entered any high radiation areas today. The electronic dosimeter is malfunctioning. Reset it and continue working." He said it with such absolute confidence, such certainty, that I almost believed him. Almost. But the badge was still beeping. The number had climbed to 503 millisieverts. I could feel my pulse pounding in my throat. I pulled out my phone to call the Radiation Safety Office directly. Dennis's hand shot out, grabbed my wrist. "Put the phone away," he said quietly, his voice dropping to a tone somehow more threatening than if he'd shouted. "You call Rad Safety right now. You know what happens? They shut down this entire work evolution. They evacuate everyone. They launch an investigation. Corporate oversight." He leaned closer. "The outage schedule gets pushed back at least a day, probably 2. The company loses millions in revenue, and when they investigate, find out the electronic dosimeter malfunctioned, which it did, they're going to want to know why. A brand new technician decided to override his site manager's professional judgment, created an unnecessary emergency. The threat was clear. His grip tightened on my wrist. "How long do you think you'll last here after that?" I put my phone away. Dennis released my wrist. His expression softened into something almost fatherly. "Look, I get it. You're new. You're cautious. But you need to learn to trust experienced personnel. I've worked in nuclear power for 18 years, across 4 different facilities. I've seen hundreds of equipment failures, false alarms. I know how to distinguish between real radiological hazards and technical glitches. Right now, I'm telling you, this is a glitch." The dosimeter reached 512 millisieverts, still beeping, still climbing. Dennis was watching me, waiting. "Trust my judgment. Reset your dosimeter. Let's finish this job." I pressed the reset button. Full story is linked below or on my channel.